And we are live. SB Talk Sports, real takes over fake debates. And this is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Sean, how are you doing? How you doing on this Friday?
Good, man. It's the first of the month.
It's the first of the month. You know how it is. You know how it is. But also, appreciate everybody guys watching. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe. We almost close to the 3K movie. Make sure you guys get us to the next step. But also, we got to shout out the sponsor. Shout out to Swift Energy. Go to swiftenergy.gg. Use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order. Sean, I'm very excited about this episode. I got a guy who's very known in Chicago as a baller. He's doing great as a coach here in Austin, Texas. We got Coach Kendall, DuCree in the building. What's going on, Coach? How you feeling, man? I see you on the road, Coach.
Yeah, man. We headed back to Austin right now. We got knocked out of the tournament today.
Oh man, that's not a good sound about it. How the game go? You know, I know it sounded bad to talk about the back end.
It was good. It was a good game. It was very competitive. But we went down. We had quite a few crucial injuries that we come bounce back from. So it was all good up until the last about 4 or 5 minutes of the game. So it is what it is. Kind of regrouping for the next weekend.
Yeah, okay. First off, shout out to the chat too, Nicholas Brown, Tiffany Ned, and shout out OG. OG's in the chat. Shout out Granny Babies. Yeah, Granny's in the chat too. She said her babies was on live, so she had to come through. But yeah, Coach KD. First of all, this is my co-host Sean. Sean, me, Coach KD. Say something to him. All right, but obviously I see you.
Good to put a face with the name. I will see you on there.
Yeah. The name should pop. Wait, the name should pop if I take the damn boat. There go right there, Sean, Coach. But yeah, when we do the logos at the bottom, the names disappear. But Coach KD, like when we come into this world, especially when it comes to basketball topics and knowledge, and sometimes people get mad at like the average guy. You know, I hooped a little bit in high school. You know, went up. Sean played high, but you played at a high level in Chicago, and people don't understand the value of that. And also, you played at the school that you are coaching at, so you was obviously great and knowledgeable of the game to get to a higher level, to play at the high level at D1, then also being knowledgeable enough at the game that you became a coach at the school. But tell us about like your early basketball career. How was it for you? Because you played at one of the most prestigious high schools in Chicago, at Curie High School. So can you talk about that, like with your upbringing and coming your start of basketball?
It was a hell of a journey. Going to Curie, but I spent a lot of time playing ball over there at L-Town and K-Town. That's why I was first introduced to the game from my uncle. But man, it was crazy because I was a two-sport athlete. I was a hell of a wide receiver. Two people wanted me to go to college with play football. But man, in Chicago, it's just one of those things. It's like basketball is almost a must. Everybody around you doing it. You just cling on to that. So, and it took me a lot of places, man. I always tell people basketball saved my life. The basketball is what got me out of Chicago, and I'm loving everything that I'm doing right now. I want to change it straight for the world.
So, and then also on your journey, before I let you go, Sean, but also on your journey to that Chicago, it led you to Austin. How was it like that when you first came to Austin as a player, and then also what was your mindset transition from player to coach on campus?
That's a big transition. Let me go back to your first question too. But Curie, I'm glad you mentioned Curie. Man, that's where it all started. With some dogs that came out of that building.
Oh, did we lose Coach? Did we lose him? Oh,
might have hit a bad bump.
Bad bump. Hey, Coach. Okay, there you go. We got you. Go ahead, Coach.
I had a call come in and put it on the other side. Okay. But yeah, man, there's a lot of dogs that came out of Curie, and it's still like some dogs to this day coming out. But the transition from coaching, from a player to a coach, it's a lot of things that I do now that I wish I know as an athlete or paid more attention to as an athlete. Because I'm like, man, if I had looked at the game like this, my stats would have been like stupid crazy. So it's just a lot of things, that a lot of knowledge that I gained from my coaches, even players, at this day and age that I wish I had back then. Because a lot of things, a lot of players, they'll pay attention to them like, man, if I was able to do this back then, man, I'd be a damn piece. Or whatever. No, they got all kind of stuff now. So to get a player better. Yeah, I ain't had no damn shooting gun. They got shooting guns. They got all this stuff. It was get you and your homeboy get in the gym and get better. But you can start paying more attention to the game and if you're like on detail, if you on that coaching, as you get older, it starts to make more sense to
you. Sharp.
Yeah, hey, so Coach, I want to ask you real quick. I know a lot of players, love the game and want to stay around the game. Do consider, switching as an alternative to some of the playing days. But what was your main motivation to go into coaching?
Man, what's crazy, man? I was telling people that I didn't even expect to become a coach. I just I wanted to stay around, always be around the game of basketball. But my advice to anybody that's in between, they just say you don't even know if you want to go, or they just say some people may want to be a trainer. That's what I want to do. I want to be a train athletes and stay around the game. But just gain as much knowledge as possible. Find damn that player that you find a mentor. It's somebody in the game that you can click on. So even if you don't gain much knowledge from the basketball court, you'll be surprised at the things that you just gain from in life and that you can apply that life material to the game of basketball. So,
we lost Coach again.
You'll be surprised at how it goes.
Okay. Coach, we lost you a little bit on we lost you a little bit on the back end of it, but we heard majority of it. But also, I like how go ahead. No, I like how you brought up like that there's a lot of dogs that came for Curie, but you are one of those people in the category because I'm like a lot of people probably want to play for a school like that, but a lot of people don't get to play for like the Curies, the Simeons, the Westinghouse, not Westinghouse, the Whitney Youngs, like because you had to be in that type of mindset. But now I'm looking at it from a different mindset. Do you take anything that you learned from like the Chicago basketball culture and try to bring it down there into Houston? Austin to your players?
I'm Chicago all day. So everything I do is Chicago. My mentality is still Chicago. Because I tell my players like you always gotta have a hustle mentality. If you have that hustle mentality, you go eat, you go do this, you go do that, whatever you really get to the next spot. And to be honest with you, we learned it in our household. Like look at our grandparents, look at our parents. Like they are workaholics. They are always on the go or whatever. And that's what basketball is. You got to be willing to learn and always on the go and willing to hustle for what you want.
So, obviously, Coach, you said that you guys just came from the tournament. It didn't go your way, but obviously, as family, we talk from time to time about how you feel about your girls on your team, how much they work hard for you. How does it differ? Because I know you probably trained with guys before. How does it differ training from your girls into like the guys? I know you told me they actually believe in you because you had teams before when you had like guys. They like. All right, they can understand what you said, but didn't believe it. When you say like when the girls actually believe for you, they'll run through the wall for you. And how was the experience with you? And then how tell me about the experience with your team that you currently have now too?
Yeah, well, so the thing is, it's like it's not what you know. They don't care about what you know. They want to know that you care about them. Once you show that you care about them, and then run through the wall. It's about building relationships when it comes to basketball. But the difference between coaching men and women, I get asked this all the time. Women are more direct. Like you tell them, hey, go knock down that wall. They gonna run right into that wall and knock it down because you told them. But with men, they gonna probably look around, they try to be a little more courageous, trying to find a way to knock it down. But women is just a little more direct versus men. So, but now in today's ball though, it's a lot more. It's been. My bad. It's a lot more. I'm saying these places come through. But in today's basketball, the girls are more creative in today's game versus how they were back then. It's kind of like they were taught second, and men were taught first. At the end of the day, was again sport first.
Okay. Sharp, you want to go or you ask the next one?
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, so obviously I want to talk. One of the things I want to hit on, right? The women's college basketball culture is next to none, next level. Like you got players like Caitlin Clark, Juju Washington, Angel Reese, and sometimes and sometimes we get caught into the fact that, like, obviously I want to ask you stuff about the WNBA in a second, but they get caught in like wondering about like the marketing of it. But it seems like women's college basketball is at an all-time high. So like, what do you see from like even the bigger schools and even your school? What do you see that's like got the fans so attracted to like women's college basketball? Because it sells out and it gets millions of views.
Yeah. So in today's basketball, man, it brings so much. Hell, you got more women dunking out there. You see the other girls from So it's just more exciting, and then like let's see the women doing the same thing the men doing. So why not pour into it? Then you got the good thing of like you got Chris Paul, you got Kobe Bryant, all these guys that are women advocates that's helped put this their platform on a higher pedestal.
Right.
So and today's like if you go back and look at the March Madness from last year, it is the most. The Final Four was the most watched sports channel throughout.
Right.
So how often does that happen? You know, and so I think that the big difference is you got more people that's supporting it, more people behind it that's pushing and elevating. And I'm not for sure if y'all saw like the incident that happened a couple years ago when the girls went to the national tournament. They showed up to an arena, and the only thing they had was like a couple dumbbells to work out with. And then the boys were posting pictures of them at these big fancy ass arenas and everything. But it's like, okay, so y'all gonna pour this into them. But what about us? We people too. So, and then it takes girls like that in the past to stand up for themselves. So now it paves the way for the future. So, and then another one, another one. I'm not for sure who's going to hit the topic. Eventually, NIL. It's crazy. So,
NIL is crazy.
And I'm gonna put on record that I'm the first HBCU women's basketball coach on the NAI and half girl on NIL deal. The damn majority of my roster has received some type of NIL deal. So they got custom jerseys, all kind of stuff. I got 4 girls that receive 4 pair of new shoes, anything retro, Jordan, whatever they want every 2 weeks, plus a check. Crazy. I was like, man, I wish they had this when I was coming up. I'm over here putting using the iron to cook my bread in my house.
Look, man, you struggle so they can run, KD. You struggle for they can run, coach.
You know, and I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Long as and my biggest thing at being coach is like every year, are we progressing? Are we doing something different? Are we bringing something different to the table that our athletes will enjoy?
Now, also, obviously we talked about your team a little bit, and I want you to also acknowledge some of your stars that you have on your team. But how do you feel? I just like two of the main ones right now, because you got Caitlin Clark, who finna break like maybe the all-time college points record, which is amazing. Not just women's in general.
I'm glad we touched this topic.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark is amazing. But did you see the young lady on the NAIA level? She's already at over 4,000 points. Caitlin Clark is at 3,000 at some point.
What's her name?
I got to get the kid's name, but the thing is, what I'm getting at is a lot of these big schools overshadow these small schools because the same talent is there as well. And it's always the same thing when it comes to HBCUs. You know, I coach at HBCU, so a lot of these PWIs, they overshadow these HBCUs, but some of the same talent is there. It took people like Dion, myself, you'll be surprised. Go dig. Just type in NAI all-time leading score, and I bet you she gonna pop up.
I'm gonna have to check it out on that list. But also, I want to speak about the other girl too that's killing the game too, because I'm gonna have to look her up, and then you gotta text me her name. What you think about Juju Washington of USC?
Hey,
Yeah.
jersey. That W, you can put out an NBA jersey right now. That girl is a monster, man. And I, like I said, I'll be excited. Not even just because I'm a women's coach, but I prefer
Right.
much more competitive than the men's side. So kind of people like Kendall, laid back, especially in the NBA. Only you.
Oh, I think we lost Coach again. Was Coach breaking up a little bit for you too, Sean?
We was breaking up a little bit, just a little bit.
Breaking up a little bit.
It's a call.
Yeah, somebody keep calling Coach phone.
Yeah, I'm
Coach.
sorry.
Yeah,
I do private protection as well. But no,
yeah.
keep them coming, man. But yeah,
Okay.
I prefer to watch women's sport over men's sport.
You think why is that? Do you think they compete more harder?
Yeah, definitely. It's way more competitive, and you can you can see it. You can see it, man. And it's funny because a lot of people they travel watch our games, and then the men play afterwards. A lot of them get up and leave. I'm like, well, y'all go watch the men. They was like, man, y'all more excited. Like, we get time. We know what we're gonna get from this. Here, it's more competitive.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Mm. So
You've been kind of quiet, man. You got to shoot me some questions.
I got you. Go ahead, Sean. You got one for him?
Yeah, no, I do have one for you. So you mentioned about the women's game and obviously the competitive level of the women's game. But I wanted to ask you just about the relationship between women's college basketball and the WNBA. Do you feel like the relationship in terms of the pipeline is there, or do you feel like that's improving, or where do you see that in today's landscape?
Say that the relationship between WNBA and college and what else?
Yeah, just the relationship between the WNBA and women's college basketball. Do you feel like that the relationship is there in terms of the pipeline?
Hey, do man, and you can see that older vets are showing these college girls love. Like they trying to show them the rope to get here because at the end of the day, they went through a lot what these girls are trying to get through, and you see a lot of them. Like I give you one, Sylvia Fowles. I believe she went to LSU, right?
Yes.
The girl, the one kid that's over there now that broke her record. And she said they talk at least like once or twice a week on the phone, talking about, hey, how you doing or whatever, and sharing their stories on each level, how it is now, and how it is on the next level. Now the crazy part about it is she probably make way more money than Angelique probably make way more money than Files because of the NIL deals. But
Right.
and they
She got
probably
paid.
tell her they probably and I think that's the reason why these girls are staying in college to get that money. It's like, hey girls, stay in college, get that money. We ain't going nowhere. This is WNBA, we ain't going nowhere. Only way we going somewhere if you get hurt. But get that money while you can in college. You're making way more, 2-3 times more than what I'm making right now on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Imagine if you making more money in college than you is as a pro. I'm not leaving college. I'm staying the whole section. I'm staying the
Well,
whole
I'll be
4
like
years.
I'll be like these kids. These kids that's going to school 6 years. I'll be a professional student.
You thought I'll be a professional student.
I'll be a
But I'm
professional
not mad
student.
though.
They're
I'm
like, damn, coach, you here again? Yeah, you damn right. Get my check.
bring it back. And people out here struggling in the WNBA, which is crazy. And then, but they in college for business. But what also the other thing I want to talk about too, though, and like I want to hear like how your players' perspective that they feel sometimes. So like they argue the question about like how the improvement of the WNBA because it's not as entertaining as the women's college basketball. Even like the higher schools or the lower schools do better with attendance and ratings and fans. Even I guarantee your school fans are more engaged at your games in the WNBA. But do your players even feel offended when they ask to sound like maybe we should push a 3-point line in, maybe lower the rims? Do they feel a way about that, or do
No,
you think like
my girl. No,
how they
my
feel
girls
about it?
don't want to be. They don't want to be treated no different than the guys, man. It's the game, and so why would you even want to be treated any different? And they don't care about they just out there they having fun with this thing. And that's the one part that we got to put it back in there. But yeah, man, I don't think that they want to be done any other way than how the game is right now. Because they have to feel more inclusive. Oh, I can shoot from back here too. I probably got two girls right here on the bus that can probably outshoot some of these.
So, also, Coach, I wanted you to give your players some shout. Obviously, I did ask you about Clay, Caitlin Clark, and Juju Washington. But if there's any players on your team, if not, you want to get your whole team a soliloquy. How you feel about your girls and about your team and about your players? Give us the people who don't know to give them some shine and tell me about your star players on your team.
Well, yeah, man, crazy.
Mm.
And I've never been a coach that's big on recruiting stars. They gain that accolade once they actually, once they usually get Mariah down here.
We losing. Is it me or is it Coach?
Stand out and you see her handle the ball.
Okay. Katie, you lagging? Katie, I think you lagging out, brother. Yeah. Coach KD is lagging out, I believe. Yep. Coach. Yep, he's lagging. We go. Can you hear us, Katie? Hello? Hello? Dang it. Yep, people, yeah. God darn it. They done. Yeah, Coach KD lagging out. God damn it. Okay, God darn it. We're gonna have to get Coach KD back on another day. The roll, yeah, he said the roll signal was killing him, and it was kind of loud in the background anyway. It's cool. Coach KD, we're gonna get you back on as for another episode of Real Take So Fake. I was excited for it. It didn't come out as much as we wanted to, but it's cool. I appreciate Coach KD taking out his time to come out to the show. We're gonna reschedule it when he is not on the road because obviously he just came from the playoff tournament. Him and his team, they just got kicked out of the playoffs. So we caught him on the road at the wrong time. But I still appreciate him taking the time out of his day. He didn't have to do it. So once again, I appreciate it. We gonna get back to it because a lot of things he was saying, I wanted to hear the answer, and I think we could have got something good from Sean, but we couldn't get to him. And then I ain't want to stop him in the middle of what he was saying in soliloquy to cut him off, but it's cool. Because I definitely wanted this answer because like I said, he hooped at Curie. So, and he didn't hoop in the mints and the hoods and everywhere in Chicago. So I know he got a good player batch list of what he wanted to say. But yeah, Sean, we gonna go ahead and finish the second half of the show. Shout out Coach KD again. We got to catch him when he actually chilling down, and we're gonna come back bigger than ever, and we're gonna have a better video. So sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody watching and listening to the show. But what another thing we was gonna ask Coach KD, but we didn't get a chance to get to was how do you feel about the current NBA? Because now it's not just the All-Star game anymore, Sean. It's to a point where we are questioning the competitiveness of the players on the everyday basis. It is getting to a point now where we feel like players only compete when it's playoff basketball or when it's championship basketball. What can we really point to? Because I think we got to start back looking at the root of the problem. Where did it start from? Is it the media? Is it Is it the culture? Is it like the ring culture thing? Is it players just not playing as hard anymore? What could it really have be to you, in your honest opinion? What is the problem with the competitiveness of the NBA in the current state of the NBA, where I feel like it's going down to the toilet?
I mean, I don't think there's one single thing, obviously, SB. I think when we talk about, the competitive state of the NBA, I think the first thing you want to look at is the rule changes, right? The league, in order to get more scoring and to get the game more open, took some of the advantages that the defense used to have out of the game. And they wanted more scoring. They wanted the game to be more wide open. Again, people complain about 90s basketball and probably to a degree 2000s basketball because the games were low scoring. It wasn't nothing to see a 78, 76 game, NBA game, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not, we always talk about this, right? Basketball is a sport.
Yes.
The game is not always entertaining.
No, it's not.
They want the games in all sports to be entertaining, particularly for the TV market, the media markets. So, so I think that's kind of the first thing. I don't want to point to, certain cultures that I think have permeated the NBA game in the last 20 plus years, but I do think there are certain cultures.
I said for you.
Yeah, there are some cultures. The ring culture, I think, is a part of it, but I don't want to put it all on the ring culture.
Right.
I think what I want to put it on more or less is the AAUization of the NBA. Right.
Okay.
It's this idea of how can we stack our rosters to the point that, we basically are unbeatable, or
right.
The championship situation, we're unbeatable. So when you stack rosters, why are you competing? Because again, there's a difference between playing and there's a difference between competing. Competing means you may be playing against someone of equal and or better talent, and you got to go all out. You got to go hard to win.
Right.
If you don't win. So, so I think that's the other side is when we talk about competing, how are we defining competing at any sport level? But obviously here we're talking about the NBA in particular. So I think there's a lot of things that come into that. But, I don't think it's an easy fix. I think, again, this is what the TV market, this is what the media landscape wants, and certainly, it factors into the overall product, right? I don't think it'll ever be a balance because you can't get scoring and be like, well, hey, but you got to play defense. Well, hey, listen, you got to play defense, but hey, listen, make sure we're hitting the 100 and 120 point mark because at least we know teams are getting up and down and putting up a bunch of shots, right? So I think that's, so I think it's a lot of things that factor in.
Now, one thing that you hit it right on the head, and shout out Coach KD, he was just texting me because he came back. I told him we're going to get him on the next one. Background was too loud. And he said he's going to pull up for the next. He said he's going to be at his desk for sure. So we go back on all those topics again. We're going to get some clear, good audio for it. One, like I said, I pointed to this. Ring culture was one of them. Ring culture was one. And it's okay to open up the Pandora's box and say, or open up the flower for new people. Hey, you never smelled this flower. You never seen this flower before. But this is NBA. This is not the WWE. I'm not here. Of course, I want some entertainment from it, but I want the entertainment of these are guys playing basketball. I don't want you to ruin the game or try to change and make it a certain way for everybody to enjoy it. And it ruins it in the long term. It's not the WWE. It's not choreographed. It's not. If I want to see choreographed basketball, I will go watch the Harlem Globetrotters. If I want to just see people just score a bunch of buckets and nobody be lackadaisical, like I said, I can watch the Harlem Globetrotters. Because it's getting to a point where it's bad where I can go to my local gym. Of course, they're not on, but when I say this, because I know how people are going to react, it's bad when I can go to my local gym and see people who are doing this after coming from work of an 8-hour shift or doing this for the free, playing harder than guys who tell me they love the game of basketball. I've been dreaming my whole life to get to this point. And then you finally get to this point and you don't show up. That's the problem where it comes in. Or these same guys who we see play in UCLA in the college runs, but they playing for free and they're supposed to be working on their game, and you can still get injured, which they was complaining about the injury things. You can still get injured, and you're playing not getting paid to play right now. But when you get paid to play, You don't do that. You don't play hard. In an all-star game, the biggest thing, this can help you make more money if you actually show this is where the whole world looks at you. Then we got the problem with the NBA side, not just the players, because the players are not just the only ones that's part of the problem. The NBA, like you brought up, Sean, clear top of the head. You want to bring more of the casual fan base in, or you want to open them up. Oh, your idea to open them up, let's get more scoring. Let's get rid of the defense. Let's change the rules that you can't guard the game. No, show them that the defensive side of the ball is entertaining too. Watching guys get stops. I don't want to see, because if offense was the end all be all for entertainment, why the All-Star game was done? Because there was literally all offense and no defense. And you was not amused. You was actually disgusted watching. I was disgusted watching it too. I text you, hey, Sean, you watching this? I've been turned that off. Karl Anthony Towns had 50 points off the bench. Nobody remembers. That's where the problem comes in at. And don't tell me the excuse of, and then also, I got to keep it a buck. Media played a part in that too. The GOAT debate and ring culture ruined everything. Jordan and LeBron debate ruined basketball. It ruined basketball because it set a precedence that nothing else matters unless you win a ring. People act like MVPs don't matter, DPOIs don't matter. All NBA, it matters when it's like you got 8, 9, 10 of them, but when you just get one for a season, it don't matter. Because you know what? Oh, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, good job making first team All NBA. You ain't made the playoffs, it don't matter. You want to compete for a championship, it don't matter.
Can we say the unspoken thing about ring culture that people probably don't talk about enough? It ain't the people that don't have one. Sometimes it's the people who only got one, and people are like, oh, well, you only got one. So got 4. So-and-so got 5. So-and-so got 6. So-and-so got 11. So-and-so got 8. Like, that's the other part of the so-called ring culture that I think hurts the game. It's hard to win.
Yes.
Winning is not easy. If winning was easy, everybody would do it. Right?
And it's hard.
Right? The Oscars are coming up, right? It's some great performances up for Oscars, right? Best movie, best picture, best supporting actor, best actress, all this other stuff. There's only one winner. It doesn't mean that those other performances weren't without merit. There's only one winner. But we don't say, well, so-and-so got an Oscar. Listen, there's people who have an Oscar who I think are average talents at best. And there are people who don't have an Oscar or might not have ever been nominated for an Oscar who are great talents. Right? There are some people who have the same number of Oscars as somebody else, and we don't say they're equals. Right? So I think that's the thing. Like we've gotten to this place of the prize, the award is everything. And yes, winning a ring is great, but it's a team accomplishment. And when you're part of a team, that is great. And you do your part, whether your part is big, small, middle, indifferent, whatever, played a part in it. You all get the same ring.
Yep. And Sean, I got a question for you too. When did we get to the point of, and you brought this up last show, and I clipped it. If it's not, it was like 2 shows ago, right? About the Jordan said the Bulls won. There's no I in team, right? When did we get to that point? And when exactly you could think on top of your head? When do we get to the point of crediting one guy for winning and also blaming one guy for losing? When did we get to that point when it stopped being, oh, the Chicago Bulls won, the Los Angeles Lakers won, the Celtics won? Now it went from like Michael Jordan won, Magic Johnson won, Larry Bird won, LeBron won, Shaq won, Kobe won. When did we get to that point of that? Because I don't even know where it really like stem and grew from, but once it stem and grew, it sprouted to a whole other thing on its own.
In my humble opinion, SB, that started when the NBA, to save itself, decided it was going to market Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And their competitive rivalry that started in college obviously at Indiana State, Michigan State in the national title game, and bringing it to the NBA when one is on the Celtics and the other is on the Lakers. That's where it started, right? It was Magic and Bird. And I'm not saying it wasn't important because their rivalry, that Lakers-Celtics rivalry, saved the NBA coming out of the dark ages of the NBA, the dark ages of the NBA, the dark decade, if you will, of the NBA. But that's where it started. And it snowballed into this thing of, well, again, like you said, so-and-so all-time great got this number of rings, but so-and-so, this other so-called all-time great don't have any. Right? You watch, the only sports show I really watch with any regularity is Inside the NBA.
Solid. Inside the NBA is solid.
It's solid. It's off the cuff. Half the time they talk basketball is entertaining. Usually gonna get a good laugh, whatever. Kenny Smith has twice as many rings as Charles Barkley.
That he does. He ain't Charles Barkley.
Nobody in their right mind would say Kenny Smith was the better player.
Nope.
But that's what's happened. It's so I just think I'm at the place where it's like let's just appreciate great individual talent. Yeah, be nice if these guys win, but there's only one out of every 30 teams every year.
No, it's true. And Sean, I didn't think about this. Not even like the crazy thing to say, because I know everybody gonna be like, "Oh, how can you label somebody this if you X that out of the equation?"
Right.
But because now I started thinking like, okay, if we just X out the value of rings, who would be the greatest player of all time? Who would be labeled the greatest team of all time? We just X out rings. Would it still be the Chicago Bulls? Would it be those 60 Celtics? Would it still be Michael Jordan? Would it still be LeBron? Would it be Kareem? Because then now it's like, okay, let's just look at the person as a player. Or let's look at how they really actually played as a team. Was they great defensively? What was their offensive scheme? How did they adjust through different situations? And I think that will open up a different conversation. But I also still think the biggest problem, even if we open up a different conversation, is always going to be narrative driven. And people going to say and push anything good or bad to get their agenda across. And I think that's the big problem. It's just like narrative and agenda. I'm going to push anything to get my narrative across. Oh, rings is this much value. Oh, you know what? Because the person that I want to push got X amount of these awards. Oh, you need to at least have, they're probably like spice it down like, yeah, 2 less more than he had or a minimum, or they know the guy that they arguing with. And I think that's what really like put a poison patch or a poison pill into the NBA. And now it's leaking onto the court of the play of the game. And it's getting to a point where it's gonna be bad. I don't know if can we recover? I don't know, but Sean, can the NBA recover, or it's just gonna be key?
I don't know if it ever can really recover, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to one thing: money.
Yeah,
money, right? Why does the NFL operate like a 24/7 league when games are only played, real games, let me rephrase, are only played between September and January, and if you include the Super Bowl in February? Why is the NFL a 24/7 league? The NFL is a 24/7, 365 league because of money, right?
Yep.
They make as big a spectacle out of the NFL draft as they do the Super Bowl.
Yes, they do, and we gonna talk about that too, because it's been going crazy as we speak.
Right, and think about it, SP. Just think about it for a second, right? When does the NBA season end officially? Mid-June.
Mid-June, yep.
The draft is always the end of June. When does the NFL season end for the majority of teams? The first week in January. When is the draft? The draft is the end of April. So we need almost 4 months between the end of the regular season to the draft. Why?
Yes.
Why? They do that because they want to be trending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Want to trend. And they say, oh, well, yeah, we got to do free agency and all that stuff. The NBA does free agency right after the draft. The majority of free agent moves are made in 2 weeks. Right. So again, this is what I mean about it's all about money. It's all about relevancy. How much of the year can you take up and be relevant?
It's like, and I hate that, Sean, because it's like, okay, get the bag. It's a business. I'm not denying it. But how much more money you gonna try to squeeze out before you ruin the dignity and integrity of the game, though, or poison the game? And in the end, it's gonna get to a point where the people you're trying to entertain not gonna be entertained, and we're not gonna watch it no more. So is it really worth it? NBA wise, NFL, I think they kind of got it down pat. Because also what I love too about the NBA, the NFL, they do better than the NBA. They promote the teams and they make it cool to be a fan of the team. I know people, well, I ain't gonna say I know people, but I see people on YouTube who got a whole Commanders fan base and they're trash. But it's cool to be a fan of the team. It's not about the player. I haven't heard a true football fan say they're not a fan of I'm just a fan of a player. They have a team. NBA needs to go back and inherit that. But how can you inherit that? With competitiveness, bring back the rivalries, stuff like that. Because I know more basketball fans who are fans of players than they are teams. They be like, oh, I don't got no team. I'm a Tatum fan. So you just don't like the Celtics? Oh, yeah, I like Michael Jordan back in the day, but, that's it. I ain't like the Bulls no more. Oh, because the team get bad. Like, where's the true fandom? I don't think basketball really have a true fandom, so that's why I don't even think it's worth diminishing the game, and you ain't got no true fan base of a team. Like, you a Heat fan, but how many people probably was like, I rock with D-Wade. As soon as D-Wade left, they don't rock with the Heat. Or AKA they rock with the Heat when LeBron came. As soon as LeBron left, we gone because I'm a LeBron fan. When LeBron go, I go. And I hate that thing, man. But that annoys me. But speaking of the draft combat too, draft combat madness, the most combat madness. Not that everybody's running in the thong Olympics, not the thong Olympics part.
The underwear Olympics.
The underwear Olympics, not the thong Olympics. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all wear shorts. I mean disrespect, guys. I mean disrespect, y'all. Chill on your boy. But the underwear Olympics, I don't even care about the Olympics part because the NFL does so good with their spectacle. Yes, it was a guy that ran like a 4.29, I believe. I don't know if it was a wide receiver or a quarterback. I forgot who it was. But I see somebody ran like a 4.29. Cool. No, nobody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about Caleb Williams, the projected number 1 pick in the draft. They asked him why, because Caleb Williams announced that he's not taking no medical, like the testing. I guess they do like your physical and check all that for all 32 teams. Yes. He said, I'm not doing it because y'all probably not going to be picking me. I'm the number 1 pick in the draft. Oh, Caleb. And they playing part of the game because now they push the narrative that, oh, Caleb's a jerk. Caleb's a bad leader. His teammates ain't going to like him. Remember USC said they didn't like him as a teammate. They try to push that narrative. But not acknowledging the fact of, brother, I'm guaranteed to be the number 1 overall pick. At minimum, go 2. If that, he's going to go number 1 regardless. Why do I need to do a physical for 32 teams? Why do I need to, Sean? If I projected the number 1 overall pick, anything with my physical to go wrong, dropping my stock. If I even do anything on the field, you can't go up. You're at the top of the list. What's the point? What is me going out here throwing the ball going to do? Nothing. This for the guys who are the whole point of the combine, I would think, Sean, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, is to raise your draft stock. Where are you going if you're number 1? I don't need to do nothing. Caleb, you think it's gonna mess up you being the number 1 pick? No. Oh, Caleb, you think you're turning? No, I'm gonna go number 1. So I don't understand it. But What do you think about the Caleb Williams madness in whole, though? I think it's dumb.
I mean, again, like you said, it's no point in him participating in any of the drills or any of that stuff. He can be there. He can take, the meeting with teams or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He say, hey, listen, we may be interested in trading up for you, blah, blah, blah. We'd love for you to come visit, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens a lot of times is, again, to your point, it's the one place where a lot of young prospective talent is going to be. You're there to meet teams, get on teams' radars. If you're not already on their radar, when they go back and say, hey, listen, we need to watch more film on so-and-so because we met him at the combine. We were impressed with him, albeit briefly, yada, yada, yada. But also, and I've heard Louis Riddick talk about this, and I trust Louis Riddick because of his experience and blah, blah, blah. Louis Riddick talks about how a lot of times when you go to like a combine, you get coached what to say. So a lot of your answers are very vanilla, blah, blah, blah.
You got to get the politically correct answers now.
When you start bringing guys to your facility, right? And it's interesting because a lot of times, and he told this story about there was a guy that when he was at a specific team, I want to say it was the Eagles, that they were interested in. Mm-hmm. They brought the guy to the facility, and the guy apparently, because they send the car to get you, they send them, black,
oh God,
whatever they get you, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. He said the guy was on the phone apparently the whole time in the truck complaining about how he hopes they don't pick him here and he don't want to live here and yada yada yada. And the driver worked for the team, and they actually had one of the scouts ask the driver how was the experience with this guy coming from the airport to the facility. This guy complained the whole time we were in the vehicle, like. And so they end up, and the guy, of course, once he gets in the facility, is yes sir, no sir, and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
the robot answers, NPC answers.
Right. You're meeting his representative. You're meeting the act. You're meeting the person that says, "Hey, pick me," blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. They end up not picking him, and apparently, he said this guy actually ended up getting picked. I want to say in the second round or something like that by another team, and ended up flaming out for the NFL.
So maybe they see. Look, sometimes the blessing in disguise, and then sometimes people. I get it, because if you are going to be in a situation to make multiple millions of dollars, you're gonna want to live somewhere comfortably. Depends on where your family's at. Sometimes it's better to go with the best situation is and establish yourself, and then you can. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you feeling. You did me right. I thought I didn't want to be here, but now I'm a star. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go to the city I wanted to go to. I'm already established, but to each his own. But you brought this up. We were talking pregame. No, we was on the phone earlier today about the back on the Caleb Williams thing. Prime time, right? Prime time picked in the first round. Teams, how I think Prime was what 8, 9. What was Prime?
He was the fifth pick.
Fifth. Okay, fifth pick, right? So Prime knew he was going top 10, top 5, right?
Yes.
He got teams at the bottom of the draft. He said people called him. Hey, Prime, we want you to do a workout with us. Where you picking at? We picking at like 20. I ain't gonna be available. Beep.
Yeah.
Beep. And then you get answers like you said, because people do their robot NPC answers. When a guy is solidified in a position where I know where I'm going, because it is you've seen the history of this NFL. There's another example of a guy that I'm gonna bring up too next, and we talked about this earlier, where when you're solidified, you don't have to get an NPC answers. You can say what you want to say. You can be obviously you won't be disrespectful, but you can lay down and draw the line because I'm already solidified where I'm going, like the Prime did. He wanted to go to Atlanta. It was another team that wanted. I believe he was talking about either it was like the Giants or it was another team. It wasn't Atlanta. And he just
it was a Giants.
He was like, "You're not a fit for me. Don't pick me." because he knew I'm a solidified at least go top 5, top 10, so I could go where I want to go. I want to go to Atlanta, which he ended up going. Then another guy, vice versa, who did the same thing to my San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers, Eli Manning. The Chargers was a stake fire. We talked about this earlier. It was a dumpster fire. And with them being a dumpster fire, hey, I'm Eli Manning. I'm guaranteed to be the number 1 pick. I'm good. I'm great coming out of, you know what I'm saying? I'm great. I'm the number 1 pick. I don't want to play here because I know for sure that I'm solidified at this position where I can start making demands now. I can draw a line in here now. Now, teams can be thrown off or disrespected by it or disgusted by it and be like turned away from it. That's cool. But every team not going to turn away from a number 1 type talent pick. You think like, okay, the Bears can be disgusted and be like, oh, no, man, Caleb Williams, Aronson, we don't like that. Which we know that's not the case. Oh, the Commanders, thank you. We're going to pick him right up. We don't care. We're going to take the chance on this guy being a number 1 talent. You think the Atlanta Falcons said, hey, Deion Sanders hanging up on teams saying I'm not going to be available for a pick. One of the best corners, talents. You think I'm going to pass that up? Same thing with Eli. Same thing going to be with Caleb. So this is what they got to understand why they're trying to push this narrative and make Caleb seem like a bad guy or he's doing something wrong. Like we have not been seeing this done for top talent that knows that I don't have to do no physical. I don't have to throw for no team. I can pretty much kind of force my way to a situation if I really wanted to go there, if I don't really like it. So, and what can you tell that person? Oh, no, you can't do it? No, I'm the number 1 pick for a reason. Stop it. But the draft match is crazy. Also, Sean, you sent me something talking about NFL free agency. And the main thing I did, because I did not get to click on it, but I didn't want to click on it. Because the main thing I seen in the title, and we could go into it, it said playing quarterback matchmaker, and they're trying to send Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. Now, we did running back matchmaker, so let's play quarterback matchmaker. We kind of talk about it a little bit, but off that, Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. Is that the match made in heaven for Kirk Cousins?
No.
And it will be
for Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins, yep.
To go back to Minnesota.
Agreed. We're 100% on this one.
Yeah.
100%. Okay. The next one on the list, I'm looking at the story now. It said the Bears should keep Justin Fields. Now, should the Bears keep Justin Fields? Or is it the better match made in heaven for Justin Fields?
Better match made in heaven for Justin Fields.
And the match made, the match is?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like that. And I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. I just think with those weapons, because I know, remember I told you about this earlier, that he was kind of a standstill in college, but he ran obviously too. I think he can do that if he's put in the right system, but he has to have the pieces, which Atlanta does. He has to have that back behind him, which Atlanta does. You have a coach that might believe him because Desmond Ridder cooked. They already said that, hey, quarterback play is a problem. And I think now, does he have like a Matthew Stafford type arm where he can just sling it? No, but I think he can get it there. So I'm going to go Atlanta for that one. Next one. They said the match-made spot for this next quarterback, Russell Wilson, is the Las Vegas Raiders. Is that a match or is it a better match made to heaven for Russell Wilson?
I'm going to say it's a match.
I'm
going to say it's a match.
I mean, anything better than Jimmy G, honestly. First off, anything better than Jimmy G. Anything better than Jimmy G.
Well, so with Russ, I think there are a couple of things you have to factor in. Number one is age.
Yes.
Right. How much longer is he going to play at a good level? Because I don't think he's been great for the last 3 years. I think he's been solid. He was solid last year. He was terrible the year before. And the year before that, he was all right. So how much more good football can you get out of him? One. And two, and the other factor I think that has to play is if you're the Raiders and you're in Vegas, can you convince Russ and Sierra that this is a good place for them? Because you could do a Vegas residency, and you know what I mean. So I think there's other factors there with Russ that you're not necessarily considering with some of the other quarterbacks. So
I'm gonna say with Russ too. I'm probably say because the Raiders would be a great situation. I know one place that's a bad situation. I don't think he should go to Atlanta. I think it's too many distractions. They play future there. It's gonna be I'm already gonna wait. It's gonna be I guarantee you, Sean, if he played for the Falcons by week 3, you'll get all the future player jokes. Sierra's back in Atlanta. It's gonna be all that dumb stuff to distract Russell Wilson off that. And Russell Wilson can play the straightforward robotic answer, but we don't. We all man at the end of the day. We feel a certain way in the respect standard we gotta live by. But no to it. Don't say Russ to Atlanta. But I can see the Raiders, but I don't see the Broncos trading him in their division though.
they're not going to. There's not going to be a trade. They're going to release him.
Just release him. Oh, woo, that'll be great. That cap hit gonna be stupid too.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay, the next one. Oh man. Steelers to sign Ryan Tannehill. Is that a match made in heaven for the Steelers? Anything's better than what they got for sure. But
yeah, I mean, only because he played under Arthur Smith, he had a great deal of success under Arthur Smith. I'm gonna say it's a match. Is it made in heaven? No, but it's a match.
It's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, he's a bridge quarterback, right? He's not your long term. He's a bridge guy. Yeah.
You're gonna like this one because this is your boy. One person that have been vouching for this quarterback always have been you. They said the Broncos should bring in Jameis Winston. Is it a match made in heaven? Or should Jameis Winston go somewhere else?
I think if there's one other opportunity I think out there that's better for Jameis than Denver.
Me too.
So I understand why they're saying Denver because of him and Sean Payton, and they had a very good relationship for the 2 years they were together. All 1 year with him as the starter. But I think Atlanta's a better situation for Jameis Winston.
We on the same page. I think Atlanta too. Because trust me, Cal Pitts and Drake London gonna get that ball this time. And Cal Pitts will have his best season ever under Jameis Winston. I stand by it.
And Bijan Robinson as a runner and as a receiver will touch the ball quite a bit. They will figure it out. They got a good offensive line. And I think the big thing is having a head coach who believes in him. With Jameis Winston, it's not talent. It's which coaches that have totally bought into him. And in my mind, he's played in his whole career. Lovie Smith and Sean Payton. I think Raheem Morris is that coach.
I like it. I'm trying to look at the other name. They told like Mr. You probably hate this one. They said Mr. Trubisky to the Saints. Oh, don't choke on your water.
Huh? You said what? No, I ain't gonna choke on the water. No. I mean, listen, if you lose Jameis Winston,
need a backup.
They're all in on Derek Vehicle.
I don't know why.
You and me both. But listen, I mean, you need a backup. Simple as that.
Yep. Yeah. And then the last one we talk about was trash. Because I think maybe he was just in the wrong situation. Jimmy G likes certain type of women in Vegas. That's the hot spot. No, I mean, if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. We ain't going. It's over your head. They said Jimmy G go back to the New England Patriots.
I like it.
I think so too.
I like it. But again, not as your future. You bring him in. If you take, say you get Drake May or somebody like that, which again is possible. You get Drake May at 3. That allows you to sit Drake May. You give Drake May the Patrick Mahomes treatment. What was supposed to be the Jay Herbo treatment with the Chargers. So I think if I'm the Patriots, I bring in Jimmy G. And you understand too, and I think it's a good situation because if he has to go to the bench, he's proven he'll go to the bench and be willing to be a backup and to help a young guy if he can. So I say it's a good move for Jimmy G and for the Patriots.
I 100% like that move for Jimmy G for everything you said, Sean. If you're going to come to my team and be a mentor to this quarterback, and please, people, please, can we stop not letting the young players grow? Perfect example, like you said, Sid and Drake May, Patrick Mahomes, who is Sean just alluded to the Patrick Mahomes treatment, is the best quarterback in the league, the greatest quarterback in the league right now today. He set his first year. Set back, learn the system, develop, and it was time for him to go. That was always the game. I think they played him week 12, week 13 at the end of the season.
They played in the last game of the season when they had nothing to play for going to the playoffs.
And then boom, they got a glimpse of him. They say, okay, this is our guy. Let's get back to that because everybody want to be this hot take. Everybody want to destroy talent. It's okay to sit a year. It's football. You can sit that year, learn behind it, because look who we just see with it now. They was destroying Jordan Love. You know why? Because Aaron Rodgers played a part in that. Now look what happened. Set Jordan Love for a couple of years, ready to go when it's time for him to go. Boom. That's how you build onto the future. And then now, even if most guys can probably sit in one, but if you had a guy sitting for like multiple years, and then, okay, that's cool, learn the system. And by the time it is to renegotiate, he ain't really showed superstardom yet, so you could probably get him on a nice deal on the back end of that too, business-wise. So it just depends on which way you want to look at that. But that is the show, guys. Sorry for the bad audio in the beginning of the show. Coach KD, we called him at the wrong time. He was coming from the tournament, a playoff game with his team. It came up a little bit short. Lucky. If you probably can't, hey Sean, we probably would have had them if they would have won. They probably been on the bus party and popping champagne. So it was a little bit different. So we're gonna try to get Coach KD back again. So we sorry guys for the bad audio because it was a lot of things I wanted to ask, and some of the answers that I kind of heard him say was a lot of good things that we wanted to hear. So we're gonna have to definitely reschedule that. Sean, episode 56. I did not look this up. But I did not look a number up. But do you got any number on top of your head?
Oh yeah, of course. Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor.
That was obvious. I mean, that was the obvious one. That was the
obvious one. Yeah, I'll throw out a couple more. Quentin Nelson, the Colts.
I like that one.
The best interior offensive lineman in the NFL.
I like that.
I'm gonna throw out one, just a little bit of a throwback, but Darryl Talley played many years for the Buffalo Bills. I'm 56. Actually met him many years ago. Very nice guy. So Darryl Talley. Pat Swilling from the Dome Patrol.
That's a good pick too.
Dome Patrol, yeah, definitely. Saints. Shout out to the Saints. Of course, Saints Nation. Who that? And so Pat Swilling. My other one. It's either gonna be it's gonna be a linebacker or it's gonna be a offensive lineman.
Or a baseball player. Yeah, I remember Lawrence Taylor was the obvious one. I didn't want to pick that one. Also, salute Bang Nation. Bang, they sued the Bang. The day it drops, whatever the Caleb Williams news is, that's what I'm saying. Because I know you get tired of talking about the LeBron thing all the time. We gonna ask you probably if there's something going on with LeBron, especially about the 3-year contract. But I waited, Bang. As soon as the Caleb Williams decision dropped, we need you on, brother. We need you on. Because I definitely got to hear this one from Bang. But appreciate the show, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate Coach KD for coming on. Like I said, we're going to reschedule to get Coach KD back on. I was going to get A Weezy Bang on too. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys share. Make sure you guys subscribe. It's been Real Takes Over Fake Debates. And we are out of here.
Rucker Man.